I'm unmuted. What a good start. What a good start to a first bead along anyway. So sorry about the rubbishy, distorted music. Oh no. Oh, right, bear with. Oh, it really is terrible, isn't it? Right, should we start again? Should we start again? Shall we rewind? I hope you're having a good laugh. I'm back. Do you know what had happened? I was watching it on Facebook to see if it worked. Had you on mute, forgot to unmute, and forgot to turn off the Facebook in the background. So you got me twofold. How are you all? Hope you're well. Let's say hello to who's in the house. So, first in the house today was Carrie and Francis. Hello to you. Hello, Sue. Hello, Carol. Good. I'm glad you can hear me. I've been doing a little bit of prep for this. I haven't actually made it up in the sense that I haven't made a sample up, because the idea is that we're going to do something from scratch, but I thought I really need something in my head as to where I'm going to take it. So, what's your tipple? What have you got? What should we chat about? Mine is immune support fruit tea. What do you have? What do you have for your midday drink? Firstly, thank you for joining me. I'm really appreciative, whether you're with me live, maybe you're watching a little bit later on, because many of you will be working as well. So thank you. And let's go on the overhead. Let's crack straight on with the tutorial, and I'll show you what we're gonna have an attempt at making. Carrie's got normal tea. Sounds good to me. Right, let's go on the overhead. There we go. I think I'm going to need to do a little bit more investigating with my new streaming. But the thing is, sometimes until you actually do it, that's the only way you're going to find out if it works. But, you know, we like a few blips along the way, don't we? Sue's also got a cup of tea. Francis is eating a pear. Sounds good to me. Right. What I was practicing at earlier is I thought we could do some of our own cord ends for leather. And so I'm going to do a cord end necklace like this. And then we're going to attach some tiger tail and do some ball head pins. Now, all of these items are available on my website. And if you go on to Jewellery Projects here on my website, there's a list of all of the materials, and it will take you, well, most of the materials, and it will take you actually to my website so you can find the bits and pieces easier. So this is 2mm thick wire, and then we're going to work with some labradorite chips, some crystals that I thought match quite nicely, some stainless steel ball head pins, and some tiger tail as well. Let's just take that banner off so that you can see. Now I did forget my tape measure, which is a good start. Right. So I'm going to cut, actually I've got a tape measure on here, 6 inches, 2 lots of 6 inches. So we're going to have a leather bit round here and a beady bit here. We're also going to use 0.8mm wire. Now, you can either use, for this little bit, you can either use a cocktail stick, or you can use one of these looping pliers. Now let's just move this out the way. Let's get a beading mat, because I think the beading mat shows up a little bit better. And should we close up a bit more? Right, let me just put online what I'm using, just in case anybody is watching without the volume on. 0.8mm wire. There we go. Right, that doesn't want to show. There we go, 0.8mm wire. And what I'm going to do with this cocktail stick, where have you gone, is I'm going to cut that end bit off because it's a little bit bobbled. I am going to wrap the 0.8mm wire around the cocktail stick and lay each one into the other. Now, how many loops did I have on that sample? Between 6 and 8. And obviously we're going to make 2 of these. I'll just keep checking that I've not gone off pieced. Anybody tried these ends before? Anybody tried making their own ends for what for leather before? I have, but it was a long time ago, and I thought, oh, that's quite a nice little thing to do. Right, so that's where we're at the minute. I'm just going to cut off that excess bit there. Now you want to have probably about 0.5 centimetre excess at the end to form a loop. Maybe a little bit more than that. Okay, so that's where we're at, and then we're going to do another one to match the other side. Let me just show you that. Carrie says she's not used leather before, so hopefully, is there anything that's prevented you from using leather before, or is it just the fact that, you know, maybe you've not thought about it before? Let's do the next one. Just going to move this across a little bit. There we go. That's more comfortable for me to sit. And then you can always have a larger tail on the end. That makes it a little bit easier to combine. But also, this is a much cheaper way of you doing your cord ends. And there's actually so much you can do with leather. So Carrie says she's not thought about it before, which, you know, we haven't done a tutorial for a while on any leather, if at all. Hello, Maxine. Thank you for joining. So Carrie's bead delivery has arrived. That is wonderful. So you're going to be busy then, Carrie. What is your first project going to be with your new beads? And don't forget, tomorrow is auction day with Mom and I on Facebook. Got lots and lots of bargains. Lots and lots of beady bargains. Right, okay, so that should slide off like so. What you might want to do, you might want to just pinch that just to bring in those coils. I'm not doing that very well, am I? It's not so easy on camera, I can tell you. And the other thing you can do as well is use E6000 glue. So if you're not too sure whether or not it's going to stick, then pop some E6000 glue on the end. Now, first up, pop that on your leather and squeeze the end coil so it squeezes the leather in place. There we go. So I've just basically clamped that last one down. So Carrie is going to do the tutorial from last Thursday. That was with the waxed cord, wasn't it? Right, what we're going to need next is round nose pliers. And we're going to just turn that up like so. Hello, Kim. Thank you for joining. And then we're going to turn a loop like so. So that's like a built-in jump ring. But how neat is that? There we go. Now we'll pop the other one on. What have I done with that? There it is. There it is. Kim, it's all gone a little bit array, but I think awry, not sure what the right word is. We had terrible music at the start. It was all distorted. I actually imported, I know it's not going to mean a lot to, didn't mean a lot to me really, is I actually imported a video and it obviously did not like it at all. And the music was all broken up. So I won't be doing that again. So you want to clamp the last spring and then we're going to turn it up like that. Okay. And then we're going to turn a loop. So you've got like your built-in jump ring. And that's where we're going to add our findings either end. How cool is that? So like I say, I think I would be inclined probably to use some E6000 glue just on the ends, just to give it that extra bit of security. Kim said, I wasn't going to write something, but then realised it will be on YouTube. That's fine. Write it. It's only if I pop it up on the screen that they'll see it. Or if I speak it, obviously. Okay, now for the lower part, you don't want everything being too wire-based, do you? So I've just done a couple of coils for the bottom part where we're going to actually attach the tiger tail element. So again, get your cocktail stick or your looping pliers. I'm going to use the looping pliers this time. I know it was my own video, Kim. It was my own video that I imported, not someone else's. It was one that I'd edited. Yeah, can't do that, can we? It's quite smooth on this, and you can kind of like clamp it so it sits nicely. Let's just do one more. Take that off and So you're going to want to loop the bottom end. Let's do the next one. And what I like about these is you can actually start it off and clamp it. So whereas when it's on the cocktail stick, you have to, it's a little bit heavy going on your fingers, but it can be. Okie dokie. That's what we've got so far. They're like the springs on a peg, aren't they? I don't know why I just thought of that. And we'll do the same again. Don't forget, you might want to use your E6000 on there. Use your chain nose pliers to pinch the bottom part. I like to use my bent nose pliers on that. And we're going to turn a loop again. Let's make sure that's nice and solid. There we go. And then do the other one. So Kim says she's never thought about using her own coils before. So hopefully it's something that's a little bit new to you all. And something that might be food for thought. Do you know you could actually use this method on your wax thread as well. Just shimmy that along. There we go. Just make sure when you're adding your tiger tail is that you've actually got the bigger coils at the top, so you don't want it sort of like that, so you've got a big one end, and do you see what I mean? And obviously our findings are going to go on the end there. And what we're going to do next is we are going to add our tiger tail. So this is your tiger tail beading thread. Whoops. And crimp beads. So let me just pop that up on the screen in case anybody's new. So we are putting on there tiger tail, tiger tail, and crimp beads. Okay, so that's what we're using now. Don't understand why I feel the need to add all of those crimp beads, but there you go. So we're going to pop on your crimp bead, thread it on through the loop of the smaller coils. And we're going to squeeze that in place. Now you can either tuck that tail in your beads if the bead holes are big enough, or you can trim that off. So what we're going to do next is we're going to be using labradorite gemstone chips. I'm just typing it in. Gemstone chips with ball headpins and crystal rondelles. There we go. Now that's a really, really good question, Sue. Sue is saying, could this be used with crimping chain? Now, for those of you that perhaps haven't used crimping chain before, it's like a snake chain that we crimp beads on. I honestly don't know. I'm not sure you'd be able to get the coils thin enough, but cut an inch sample and try it. See if it works and let us know. Let us know how you get on. So Kim was saying I could, but I don't think it would look right. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. Give it a go. See how it works. Right. Let's just put that to one side. We can get rid of those crimp beads for now because we're not going to need it till the other end. And let's shimmy across to my little bead mat. And what we're going to do is a combination of these, and we're also going to do make some ball head pins with them as well. Now you can also, if you've got the looping, you know, those big looping pliers, I think they're bail pliers as well, is you can also make the loops bigger. So say for example you want to have 2 strands of leather, you can make bigger loops, which I thought was quite a good idea. So Sue is going to test that out and pop it on the sister group, our Beaders of Beads by Rachel. Hey people, it is nearly the end of the month, so don't forget, post in your makes. You'll get added into the draw even more. If I can work out how to, I will do the draw live on Facebook. See if I can get one of those spinny wheels going. Not sure how yet to share it with you, but we could give it a go, couldn't we? A bit more exciting, won't it? These are crystal rondelles. These are also on the website. I know what I mean. The stainless steel ball head pins, they're also on there as well. Now, what I'm going to do is have some beads and have a cluster of head pins. Don't know how it's going to look, but we're going to give it a go. So I've popped that labradorite on there. I'm going to cut it so that you've got about 1 centimetre from the end of the bead. We are going to turn it at a right angle. Not so easy with chips. And then we are going to position that and turn a loop. So I'm going to make a cluster of these. Now, you can also do wire wrap loops, but I think this is a little bit what I'm trying to say is I think the wire thickness is too thick for doing a wire wrap loop. Kim's saying there's an app, but I think you need 2 phones or phone and laptop so you can show the spinner thing. What I might be able to do, Kim, is, you know, when I said I import a video, I might be able to actually show it was the wrong description really. I can actually show what's on my laptop. So I might be able to actually show the Billy Doozer spinner thing on there. Oh yeah, or put the names in the hat and get your mum to pick one out at the start of tomorrow night's auction. Is it the last day tomorrow? What day is it? We've still got a few days left yet though. I think it's Saturday. Right, so I'm just going to do a few of these. But that might be something that I can do moving forward, mightn't it? That'd be something quite nice to do in the auction. But I better not do it this month because I'll be doing you out of a few days. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to keep going with a few more of these. Yeah, Saturday's the last day of the month. Can't believe that. So turn that at a right angle. Now, like I say, this is off the cuff. So you might find that I'm putting things together and then thinking, oh, I don't really like that. But that's fine. That is how I design. How do you design? What works for you? Do you have to really plan it out in detail first, or do you like a little bit of randomness? Oh, right. So it's Friday's the last day. Yeah, Friday. January does feel like a year in itself. These are a little bit harder as well with the gemstone chips because of their uneven shape. Right. And what I've got, where are they? I have got some, start off again, silver balls. I'm not going to sing. Right. These are on the website as well. I'm going to start off with a silver ball just to edge it. I wonder if we've got anybody watching on YouTube. I haven't got any comments from YouTube, but I guess it's going to take a little while, isn't it, for people to get used to the live streaming on there. Right. I'm just having a play around with different bead combinations. And let's try this one. So I'm going to thread these on. 1, 2, 3. We have a YouTube watcher. Hello, Stacey. She's just found me. Lovely that you can join. Thank you. And handcrafted by me, Maxine's on YouTube as well. And Jan's just joined us as well. Hello, Jan. So let's just put your comments up. So we've got Stacey on YouTube. We've got Jan join us on Facebook. And we've got Handcrafted by Me on YouTube, and Teresa Fowler. Hello, how lovely. How did you, out of interest, how did you come across me? Were you just searching on YouTube for, like I did the other day, and I came across a very interesting lady in the States doing something very similar, and she gave me the inspiration to do this. That's what I like, that little cluster effect. But tell us about yourselves. You know, because everybody is sort of new. Oh. I'm not sure, Kim. I'm not feeling very brave. Teresa said she opened up my YouTube and you are live. There we go. Well, that was handy. Do you normally follow me then? Right, I'm going to do another 5. Oops. Actually, we have got EastEnders names in here, haven't we? Which is something Kim noticed. We've got Stacey Slater and we've got Teresa Fowler. There we go. We have EastEnders in the house. And apologies. I hope you don't mind a little joke about that. So Teresa has just started. She was on my suggestions, I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. How lovely. Not at all. So if you're in the States anyway, you probably won't know what EastEnders is. It's a soap. It's a soap where you've got the Fowlers and the Slaters. In fact, I don't even know. I've not seen it for years. Not seen it for years. Janice Bradfield just jumped over to YouTube to see. It's good. Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming on. So I'm just intrigued. Have some of you watched some of my YouTube videos before? Because this is what it's all about, why I'm looking at broadcasting on YouTube. It's just a really nice way of connecting, because we've only ever done it on Facebook. And we've got a lovely, lovely community. But perhaps, even though you people that are our regulars, that I know you, do put in the comments sort of how long you've been jewellery making, and if there's, do you have something that you're really loving with jewellery making? You know, it could be general beading, it could be wire wrapping, it could be bead embroidery, one of my favourites, bead weaving. Let's have a little share. So I should have just put that up to show you Stacey's comments at all. And Jan. Like you say, some people don't like Facebook. I love Facebook. I mean, for business, it's amazing. Facebook has been wonderful. And it's taken me a while to get to this point. And, you know, it can only get better, the broadcasting, because this is the first one I've done on both platforms. And it's only when you do it that you actually can sort of filter out, so to speak, what doesn't work. Sue is off to hospital. I'll catch up later. No problem. Thank you so much for joining. So Kim says she's been doing jewellery for about 15 years and her favourite is bead embroidery. Me too, Kim. I adore bead embroidery. So Jan said, she missed the beginning, so she'll watch back. She's new to beading, but I do a lot of crafts and they all sort of cross over. Oh, how interesting. So Jan, what other crafts do you do? Do you have a favourite craft? Or are you a bit, I mean, obviously I love jewellery making, but it does, you know, do you maybe go from thing to thing as to what your favourite is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just basically making, let's have a look and see where we're at so far. That's quite pretty, isn't it? What have we got? Maxine, I like all sorts. Having different things is nice. You do lots of beautiful crafts, Maxine. Carrie, bead embroidery is definitely my favourite. I've just done the hedgehog. Oh, fantastic. I've got a number of bead embroidery kits, animal kits, one of which is hedgehog. And you'll have to share that in our beaders group, our beaders of Beads by Vachil. And Frances did her first workshop with me about 7 years ago and has been hooked ever since. She's fantastic. It is quite addictive, isn't it? So I'm just making more of these head pins by Sue. Jan needle felts. She crochets. Love crochet. Why work crystal trees, paint and polymer clay? You are a talented lady. And you, in our beaders group, Beaders of Beads by Vachil, do remember that you can share any of your makes in that group. And you can be from any part of the world and share it. It will be so nice to have you join. It's just a bit of a shame, to my knowledge. I think you can post on YouTube, but it's not quite the same. But it's a shame you can't quite interact in the same way on YouTube. A shame, maybe not. I don't know. There's advantages to all, isn't there? As I said, this can be a little bit tricky because of the uneven shape of the gemstone chips. So Jan loves all types of crafting. Carrie is saying that she'd love to try needle felting. Maybe Jan can give us all some pointers as to where to start with it, if anyone's interested. Now, Stacey hasn't learned bead embroidery yet, but would love to try. Oh, it's beautiful, Stacey. I say it's beautiful. It's like anything. Everybody's got their thing that they love to do. Even if you don't sew, it doesn't matter. All you need to be able to do is to thread the needle, which, I'm not going to lie, when you first start, you think there is no way I'm going to thread that, but you really do. You really do get there. So that's 3. I think this is going to be my last group of chips. So is that Maxine would like to try needle felting too? Is that where I was saying that right? Oh, and it's a lot easier than it looks, says Jan. And we do love seeing everybody's makes in the beaders group. I don't think I've got a link up to share the beaders group, but if anybody else has, let's just trim that down. Kim is one of our lovely admin team in our beaders group. Kim knitting in the evening, making baby blankets for her son's friend who's having a baby. Oh, how lovely. Right, have I done 5? I thought I'd done 5. Or have I just misplaced one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I could have sworn I'd done 5. Obviously, I haven't. Thank you, Maxine. That's our beaders group to look for in Facebook. And every month we have a little giveaway where you're entered into a draw if you post your makes and advice and so on. Oh, how exciting is that? Right, bear with. This is not doing too well, this one. Oh, I think I'm nearly there. Yeah, don't look too close at that one. There we go. So, Jan has put up a couple of good beginner felting YouTubes. Oh, are they ones that you've actually tutored, Jan? Would love to know. Because there's no conflict of interest in our beaders group, I am very happy for you to share. And Kim's just put the link up there as well for beaders group. Right, so that's that. Another ball. And where are we? So just getting a bit of a pattern going here. Is anybody else like me? I really admire people that can work in absolute pristine conditions. And by that, what I mean is everything is super organized. I'm not like that. It does irritate me if it gets too out of hand, if I've got everything everywhere. But, it's like this. I should really be binning this as I'm going. Let's do that, shall we? And, some people are like, right, I'll just get that out, and that out. And I'm like, no, I might like that, and that. Even though I don't really need it. But it stilts my creativity. I like a choice. So moving forward, let me know what you think. I am, right, that's wrong. I'm kind of thinking that this would be a nice weekly thing. Is that something you might like to do? Would you be up for joining me? Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Let me know. Where we just have a cuppa together and we just try out some new things just for half an hour to an hour. Right, this one is being particularly difficult. I'm so pleased it's not just me. Kim says she's messy, and Carrie, well, she's got beads everywhere. You're making me feel so much better. I'm in so much awe of people that can have everything so neat, so organised. I blame my mum. Mum, if you're watching later, I'm blaming you. Because that's how my mum works. Now, Jan says she can tutor and video, but there are so many already that are great for beginners. I'll sort a couple out that need a couple of bits. If I can't make the 22nd. I'll bring some bits if I can make it to do a quick tutorial. Oh, bless you. Oh, lovely. Stacey says her desk is a hot mess with beads everywhere. No. I think I probably need to do some more, but I think just for the purposes of today's tutorial, Teresa is -2, sounds great. I definitely join you for a cuppa and a play. Brilliant. So Teresa, I think you're saying sounds great to a weekly tutorial. Same time next week? I can probably watch, but grandson here is asleep in my arms. Aww. Guilty as charged with messy beads. They say it's a creative thing, working messy. I think so. I really think so. I like my beads to be pretty tidy in cupboards, but it's taken me a while to get there with my help of Francis. Not tidy at all. This says Maxine, organised chaos here. Yes, says Teresa. Do you mean yes to tutorials? Happy. Okay. Right. I think that matches. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cheat a bit. Okay. I'm going to take all of those off and I'm going to add some more filler in beads. Okay. So, but the thing is, by you seeing this, you can, maybe it might help other people sort of think about how to design. This is me. This is how I would work. It's like, nah, I'm wanting to do a little bit more. So that's what I do. Start again. It's only a stack of beads. That's all it is. I think once you've got something in your mind, you can then just go back and tweak it. So I've got 3 rondelles, a labradorite, and then I like the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Appearances can be deceptive. Any in particular? Right. Let's just pop another labradorite there. But do let me know if is this giving you any inspiration, because this is what it's all about. And what I love as well is the fact that if you've got something that pops into your mind that you think, do you know what, I think that really X might really work, just share it, because that's what we like to do. We like to bounce ideas, because out of one idea comes another. Jan says she likes the 5 labradorite too. Odd numbers work. They do, don't they? And my mum is a flower arranger, and my gran was a flower arranger, and they always advocate that odd numbers work. There we go, one of those. Then I'm going to need some more silver balls. Silver ball, there we go. Can you still see? And I like to push those up so that they cluster nicely as well. Maxine says the blue is sparkling lovely there. It's nice, isn't it? And I like the sparkle in the crystals and also in the labradorite as well. 3 of those, 1 of those. Can you do that necklace as a raffle prize and let me win it on the 22nd? Oh, that's really sweet, Kim. Bless you. You can have it, Kim. You can have it. I think it was Carol was asking me the other day, what do you do with all of your samples? There wasn't really a straight answer, I'm not going to lie. Some I wear, some go in a box to remind me when the time comes of how it's made, so that I can revisit. How have I finished the necklace I am wearing? The necklace I am wearing is actually a peyote stitch that I've created the bell with. I'll take it off after if I remember to, and I'll show you. I've written a pattern for it somewhere. Jan says, what is the beading thread that I am using? It's called tigertail. Oh no, on the necklace. No, I've got wrong one up. Sorry. What is the beading thread you are using? The beading thread is called tigertail. That's right, Kim. It's not to be confused with wire, as in for wire wrapping. It's just a soft thread for beading. Right, how are we doing for time? We might have a few minutes left to make some earrings with some cone ends, some mini cone ends. Right, so here we go. I finished that pattern. That crimp bead on, take that through the correct end, take that back through. So when I say the correct end, the one with the fewer coils. Now, if you miss the start, you can watch it back. You can either watch it back on the replay on Facebook. Now, do make sure that you check before you crimp to make sure that you've got no unsightly gaps. There's one thing I don't like to see is gaps in the tiger tail. Take your time before you squeeze that crimp bead. Then with your cutters, have the flat side against where you're working and cut in. All right, let's move that to one side. Clasp. Now you might want a jump ring, but because I didn't get any jump rings out, I'm going to see if I can use the ends that I've made. Right, where are they? So I've got lobster clasp extenders again. They're on my website. So I'm just opening that up. Pop that on there. Close that up. There we go. That works well. And then we do the same this side. Now for E6000, I have yet to find a stockist that I can get it any cheaper than on eBay. But just avoid buying the copied ones. So E6000, not E6000 Plus. It reminds me of an oil slick E6000 Plus. I really, really don't like it at all. But I stand corrected if someone else has found any different. So just the E6000. Right, so those are the ends. Okay, shimmy along, and that's your necklace. So what we've done is we've learnt in our coffee and chat how to make the coils for the end. This is 2mm thick leather. We've done shorter coils at the end, attached with tigertail. We've got those crystals on there, and we've used the ball head pins. Now, what I'll do in a second, when we've finished, I will hold it up and show you on a bustier. I'll show you the one I'm wearing. Now, are you up for a very, very quick tutorial using these little cone ends? Yeah, it's not nice, is it, Kim? Not nice at all. The E6000 Plus. So I'm using ball head pins. We're going to do some earrings. I'm saying, do you want me to do it? I'm just going to do it anyway. It's always difficult to tell when you're doing a live how long it's going to take you. What did I do with that? Oh, there it is. Well, I'd rather like these. These are frosted Picasso Jasper, I think. These are on the website, 6mm. Now, if you're in the States or you're abroad and you want to buy off the internet, I'm not sure you can on my website, but you can still buy from me. Just message me. Let me know what it is you want to buy, and we can either do bank transfer or PayPal, and we'll work it out manually. And to be honest with you, it's actually easier for you to message me because I can only put one cost in on the website, so you'll end up paying more than you should do for postage, whereas I can actually calculate it manually for you. So yeah, no problem if you want to buy from me abroad. I do post as it is to the States, Australia. Oh, those are nice. Right, okay, this is what we've got. These little mini cone ends are on my website. These are on my website. I think some of the red Dewberry Watsits are on my website as well. I'm just thinking maybe an eye pin might be better. Anyway, let's try this one. It's a very basic design. A crystal rondelle. One of these knots, they're not quite on there as yet on the website. And pop that through a cone end. And I can honestly say I really, really don't like that, okay? I don't like that design because to me it looks like someone wearing a hat. So this is where I'd go back and I think, right, okay, don't really like that. Let's try another one. Let's try it this way. I never forget. I don't know if anybody else's partners are like this. My partner is an absolute love, but he's an absolute nightmare when it comes to asking his opinion because he thinks that what you're saying is, can you find fault with this? And I'm really not. And I remember doing something before in bead embroidery. I thought, I really like that. And I went, do you like it? And he went, no, it looks like an ear. So you can't not see that afterwards, can you? I'm not going to lie, that still looks like a bit of a hat, doesn't it? Right. Does that work more? Yes, that's less of a hat, isn't it? Sorry, I've planted that seed in your mind now, haven't I? I'm going to change it again. I love that chip bead necklace, what you did with them and how you created the necklace. Oh, thank you. I'm so pleased you like it. Right, what was I going to do? Let's try that. So that goes there, there. Like I say, this is how I rock and roll with my designs. It might help, it might hinder how you do your designing. But the upshot is, you've got to remember, there is absolutely no right or no wrong way to work. It's a case of what works for you. And if I can give you a little bit of motivation, inspiration along the way to get your creative juices going, then that's good for me. Okay, happier with that. There we go. So I'm going to do a wire wrap loop. And for a wire wrap loop, we are going to go round there, like so, and then we're going to wrap this round. Kim says I wouldn't use a cone end. I suppose I'm just trying to give people ideas as to like what you can do with different things. But I quite like that. So we're going to chop that bit off. Also, these cone ends are quite good for using with ends for leather as well. You could always actually have a cone end the other side as well. So what I would do next is open up the bead, not the bead, the earring. Hello, Francis. There we go. And right, let's just make, I've got enough time to do the other one. But if anybody's got any design ideas and any ideas for using the cone ends, do let me know. Kim says you could put a cord end both sides. Yeah, you could. And also they're quite nice for little bracelets as well on the ends. Oh, not concentrating. No, I'm definitely not concentrating. I normally find that I'm online for an hour and then I struggle. Me and Mum are like this when we're on our auction. It's you become a little bit discombobulated. Right, and then do you know what I'd probably do with this is I would actually make a matching bracelet, and like Kim says, I would actually put one of these cord ends on the end of the bracelet. If that's something you want to see in another tutorial, I'm happy to do that next time. Do let me know. We can look at using the cone ends in a bracelet, and we can do a bracelet to match the earrings that we did today. But it's just thinking of other ideas as to what you can use all these different components with. The other thing I wanted to mention, so we will wrap up in a second. I got to go to art group in a minute. First time I've been in weeks. Been too busy. Right, okay, so those are the earrings. Quite sort of oriental, I like that. You've also got, what have I done with them? Earring bungs. What I was going to show you is I've actually got some earring bungs, which are like plastic ear bungs that go on the back of your earrings that basically stop them from falling out. Jan says an hour is a good amount of time for a live. I find it exhausting. Bet you haven't drunk very much. Dehydration kills concentration. That is very true. No, I haven't while I'm live. So we're going to wrap up. I am going to show you my necklace close up. Carrie was just asking about my necklace. Thank you, Kim. I thought you were going to use 3 ball pins with a bead on each different length of the cone at the top. Maxine, I thought you were going to use 3 ball pins with a bead on each at different lengths. Oh, that sounds nice. Very oriental. And yes, Chinese New Year. Oh. So that is my beading. But I made that. That was one of my resin cabochons that I made. I went through a phase of making all of my own resin cabochons, but this is peyote stitch. It's a really nice veil, really nice technique. Not the easiest, but nonetheless, always very achievable. So let me just go and grab a bustier, whoops, and show you what they look like. And then you can let me know what sort of things, give me some ideas for, not necessarily what we're going to demonstrate, because obviously I can show you more cone ends, but I'm kind of thinking, well, the idea is that it's a bit of an improvised session. So let me know what materials you would like me to use, findings, materials, and I can then get them ready. Right, let's just get that sitting properly. Now, the only thing with leather is it doesn't always initially sit that well. And I saw a nice little hack on YouTube the other day that basically showed you rubbing the leather against metal, and it actually helped to iron out those creases. So that's the necklace we've made today. Let's just, so you've got a nice bit of sparkle. So we've learned how to do the ends on that, and our little earrings. Less of a clown hat. I'm really not selling them, am I? Once I saw that, that was it. Love your beading. Thank you, Maxine. Thank you. Lovely hour with you. Thank you for spending an hour with me today. Thank you, Jan. I've tons of ball chain that I don't know what to do with. So, oh, okay. Me neither. I'm not sure what to do with it either, but I'm willing to investigate for future tutorials. So let me know. Love it. So pretty. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Maxine. Let the leather sit in the sun after wetting it down. We'll flatten out. Teresa, thank you. I love that tip. The only problem we've got is sunshine. We don't have a lot of it. But on a sunny day, we'll give that a go. Thank you, Francis, and thank you, Teresa. Whether you joined me on YouTube, Facebook, I've loved your company. Do make sure, if you're watching on replay, you pop a comment, because I will reply to you, and I'm really grateful for you being with us. Blow dry it. Great shout, Teresa. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm not going to put any of my intros in because it really didn't bode very well at the start. So I'm just going to end the live stream and bid you bye-bye. Bye-bye, YouTube ladies, and bye-bye, Facebook ladies. Take care. Bye.